Let me see. Do it show how many people? I guess we live. Welcome to another episode of the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. I know it's a holiday weekend. Maybe some people ain't on here. Some of the regular faces I'm talking about coming in the view. But this was a fun game. If you a Sixers fan and you was watching this game, get in here now.
Yeah,
But if y'all ain't in here, y'all can't hear me. Oh, there we go. We get some people. Come on, man. I know y'all hyped about that game. If you're a Sixers fan, you got to be.
yep.
This game was so encouraging on so many aspects. Like we seen with Harden and Biid cooking, and we seen role players step up. Melton still continue to be consistent. He was cooking early on, hitting them threes. Doc might have to explore sitting PJ down for extended periods. Nee, Niang played better than him all around, and I'm glad Doc went with him. Like not just because of the shooting, but even on defense, Niang played more solid than him. PJ is like he's a missing. It's like a black hole, a whole missing person in the starting five. They allow people to double down on Biid and trap hard and stuff like that. But that being said, and we can't dismiss that shot that Shake hit at the half. That kind of shifted a
Oh,
lot of momentum too. That
it
was big.
did. It
This was
did.
a fun game, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I was hyped. I'm hyped now. This is a fun game.
Yeah, I mean, and it was so many it was so many people that contributed to the win because when we was getting killed by Julius Randle and Brunson early on, and my man Melton was keeping us in it by hitting clutch 3-pointers. So he started us off being consistent.
Yeah,
And
wasn't he
we,
like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5
yeah,
from three or
he
something?
was.
Yeah.
I think he was 5-5. He kept us in the game. He kept us at least at arm's length. Because Toby was off, and B was off, and then Hart was pretty consistent early on, but Melton he was the guy for us. Then when the bench came in, Shake hit that 3-pointer at the end. It was made the lead 63-60 going to the half. It felt like they was dominating us the whole half, but that we was only down by 3. And I was like, when we was down by 3, I said, you know what, we got this game. I like we are.
Yep. Yep.
And then what happened? Hart.
Well, you know what though, and one of the things I did appreciate about this game too, excuse me, was like remember back in the fourth quarter, like to skip down to the fourth quarter when Harden was carrying us and making that run and making the passes, getting guys their shots and taking it, hitting them a couple threes and then took Randle to the basket.
Yep.
When B came back in the game, he slid over to the side and let Harden and Niang keep running that pick and pop
Oh
because it was
yeah,
cooking.
I like that.
So it wasn't like B came in like, all right, I'm in here now, give me the ball. Like he was like they cooking,
Yep,
step to the side and let them cook. And I think that's a big part of what
that's
they have.
growth.
Right. This is what like guys like B and Harden have to be able to do. That's like when Maxey come back, when Maxey get the ball and like that, there gotta be certain points where it's like, go ahead. I mean, carry the load and and they do what they do to help out.
But Maxey, he's usually like that. I'm not gonna. He's not a selfish player. He'll sit there.
Yeah, Maxi is. That's what I'm saying. When Maxi's cooking, they got to
Yeah.
be able to do the same way. Like if Maxi cooking, step back and let Maxi go ahead and eat and do
Oh
what he
yeah,
do.
I agree. But and B got his thing, and B for some reason early on he was struggling. I don't know if he had to fill out the ball Robinson Robinson whatever his name is, fill him out like okay, how can I get my points? First
I'm
half,
telling you what it is. I'm telling you what it is. It's
well,
PJ. It's PJ because nobody guards PJ Tucker. Like if you look at it, and it's not just saying. See, sometimes like when we say B gets double teamed, sometimes it's not just a straight up like when he got the ball they there. But if you look at it when he has the ball in that position, you'll see the guys leaning in like they're ready to come in and help. And it's like
yeah,
as soon as he puts the ball on the floor or go to back down, the help comes and converges. That's where you have to have somebody out there that's like on the one play they finally did a play like they got PJ a layup inside, but I thought he was gonna miss that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But P, if PJ's defense was outstanding, he was stopping people. I wouldn't complain about it as much. But PJ Tucker's his defense has not been that great,
Yeah.
and his offense is atrocious, and he's
But you
not getting
notice,
rebounds. The Yang came in and was on the boards more than PJ was all
but you
game.
notice Julius Randle actually James Harden played Julius Randle the best out of everybody, better than all our forwards.
Yep.
He started missing everything, and Randle was cooking the first half. I think he had 25 entering the third quarter. He was cooking, but
Hmm.
Soren Harden was like, "Yo, give me that big boy." He was able to do his thing. I mean, Harden I don't want to say he was the key because there was so many Bulls. I'm talking about.
No, he was, but he was.
Niang was able to blow the game open after he was struggling early on. But Embiid, the end of the second quarter and all of the third quarter, that was Embiid time. Embiid was cooking. He gave life. He the one pretty much got us going, got us rolling. So I don't want to.
But that's what I'm saying.
Everybody was the main catalyst of the win. It was a team effort.
Yeah, it probably is the headset. I didn't bring my mic stand, so if I set my mic and stuff all up, I'm gonna be sitting there holding it like I'm a '80s R&B singer, and I hope I'm clear enough that y'all can hear me. So I'm rocking this my gamer mic that I'm rocking today. But I Harden was a catalyst today, honestly. Like even if you look at it. Niang getting his shots was hard. I'm saying he was the catalyst. Like you said, there was many pieces. This was a good team win, but in that run where we took charge of this game, it was hard. And he started hitting them threes. He hit the back-to-back long. It didn't remember it was like one of them, like Embiid thought he was fouled hard and got the steal, step back, hit the three. Then a couple of pull-up threes he hit. So yeah, Melton kept us in it earlier, but
no, but Embiid. He scored 11 points in that third quarter and 15. I mean, in the second quarter, 15 in that third quarter. Mm-hmm. It was just everybody. Like, Embiid, when he started cooking, it was his time. It was like you see that he's a genuine superstar. But
yeah, ID business. I am in a hotel. I might have resort. But no, he was. This was a fun game, man. Like Tim was a little bit scared and shook.
I was not scared. I just said I hope we win. And
don't make me start scrolling back through the line, through the chat. Yeah, you were a little bit shook early on.
I was like, yo, no, because first of all, because Toby, I'm gonna give him some grace because he been playing ball all year long, but he kind of didn't show up. He was kind of, if you want to say, the weak link outside of PJ Tucker. What did he finish with? Maybe 6 or 8 points tops.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I get it. Toby was off. To me, Toby was off today. Yeah. So I mean,
he was 0 for 5 from 3-point land, but he was playing consistently. But I do want to make sure that when we play big teams, because we played a lot of bad teams, but when we play in big teams, I need him to still be able to perform like he's been doing. But hey, this is a game we won. So I'm not going to be too critical of him because he has been playing well.
And that's one of the things I do like about Toby too, though, is when he's not. It's not like he demands the ball. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever feel like Toby saying, "Give me, I got to get the ball. I got to get the ball." So that's just like he's another person that's a selfless player that he know how to step to the side. He just got, like you said, he got to hit them threes, them side threes. The Knicks play a brand of ball though, and I think it kind of went back to like we talking about with Thibodeau. They play so aggressive. It seems like they wear down toward the end of games.
It's not sustainable. That's why Thibodeau's teams have always done that. They play hard defensively, but it's not. That's kind of how Ben Simmons' game. To be honest with you, you can't play that way all game long. And what's going to happen is in the playoffs, they're going to wear it down. They're all going to wear it down. You got to pick your time when you play like that.
Yeah. Hey, what'd you say? The Sixers home announcer kit. What's the Sixers home announcer kit? I mean, are you a Knicks fan? I mean, this is the Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast, but we keep it being and talk about both sides too. For the record, I've always liked Randle. I think Randle in a properly coached. I wanted Randle the year that we got the year that we ended up getting what's his name, Horford. I was upset. I wanted Julius Randle. It was both
because they got him on a discount. I think they only paid him like $40 million initially before he signed the mega deal.
But I don't even care with the money. That's why I didn't understand how we gave Horford all that money, and I thought Randle was a better selection.
Yeah, so too. I'll say the same thing. We gave him $100 million, and he saw him for $40 million. Him and Joel and Biid playing next to each other, we probably would have won a championship. We probably would have won if we had actually tried.
Yeah. So what did I miss? Y'all still saying Maxey need to come off the bench? Is that what they're saying?
No, this is what they're saying. And I listen. When I made that statement last year, it was because we had absolutely nothing coming off the bench, and all of our firepower was in the starting lineup. Now we do have some guys I mean, Melton and Milton. They showed that they can rock together and do some things. I wouldn't be mad either way because I see people automatically think because you coming off the bench that means you being demoted, this, that, and other. But you got guys come off the bench and still be like look at Clarkson when he was coming off the bench. Wasn't he like their second leading scorer over there in
Yeah.
Utah or something like that? Like you could still come off the bench and do that. But if let's not get it mistaken, even if he's coming off the bench down in the fourth quarter when you putting the starters in, he's going to be in there running with them. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking him out that. He's going to be in there in the crucial situations.
Yeah, I mean, and I do agree with you, Dom, about our defense. Our defense was stepping up. I figured we was going to lock down the second half too. Wayne and Tim was all scared early on when the Knicks jumped out to a lead.
Oh,
calm down. I said, relax.
Wayne was never scared. That was your brother, Tim.
No, but Tim was a little
on the camera.
Yeah, Tim was a little shook down.
You know you walked on the camera, right?
You know you're in a tight spot. You gotta do what you gotta do. We appreciate you being here. You know what I'm saying? But as regards Maxey and Melton, like as we fans, I think we live in a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like we looking at Maxey at what Melton's doing now and saying, all right, shit, he started with Maxey. But if the roles were reversed, if Melton was initially starting and we saw how Maxey been balling, shooting over 40% from three and all that stuff like that, that we'd be like, well, Maxey probably should be starting with Melton. Yeah, I just think we in a moment with it a little bit. To be honest with you, like,
hold on, Ethan's not gonna come here lying and talking about Wayne sound like he was in panic mode. That was him. Remember him and Tim before the game? They was all panic. Harden said he want to quit the Sixers. Harden said he leaving. I told you. We're gonna talk about that. This them panicking before the game. I told you Harden. I told you we should have got Halliburton instead of Harden. This all the talk that they was doing.
We're gonna talk about that after.
This all the talk they were doing.
No, but Oliver, Lou, we are going to talk about that. But Oliver, Lou Williams did do his thing as a start. But my point is, I think either one of them. I don't think Maxey has to come off the bench for Melton still to shine. I think Melton could come off the bench and still shine. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So it's all matter how Doc rotate. And I think somebody said it before. You might have been the one that said that before, Jamar. It's all how he rotates the minutes. Like how we always talk about how even when when PJ Tucker wasn't playing good, like all right, at this point, I think everybody's pretty much giving up on PJ Tucker. But at a certain point, he did bring some value. But it's like, all right, how we going to rotate his minutes to still give Reed some stop clock, to still give Harold some clock, because Harold's been playing decent in some of the minutes that he got. So it's
one reason. It's one reason though that I wouldn't. I think Melton. I think Melton's better actually off the bench because he's our other point guard. Shake's not really a point guard. Maxey's not a point guard. So, Mark, you already know I am. But Shake's not a point guard. Maxey's not a point guard for real. But we do know that you know what I'm saying, that Melton is a point guard, and he's a floor general in that type of sense. So I do think that we are better off with, you know, if when Harden sits down, or even if he's starting, when Harden sits down, you need to have Melton in there running the floor.
PJ, go ahead, Tim.
I would be comfortable with Maxey coming off the bench. I like what the starters have been doing, and then you could mix it up and just give Maxey's still gonna get his 33 minutes playing. But if you just want to start off where you're going against the starters, the opposite team starters who are probably above 6'3", 6'4", both of them. So if you set the tone that way, I don't mind Maxey coming off the bench, to be honest with you.
I mean, I wouldn't be. The sky is falling. Somebody call the police. You know what I mean? Like, get Doc out of here. If he did, I'm not going on. I'm not going that far. I wouldn't be mad about it either way. But I don't know. I'm
tell you this, on a pick and rolls option, we're playing Boston. Well, all of a sudden, Jason Tatum is no longer. Harden is not sticking Jason Tatum. Now there's Maxey sticking Jason Tatum. I'd rather have Melton out there on a pick and roll where he has to defend Jason Tatum versus Maxey. That's what I'm saying. With those starters, I'd rather have, from a starting standpoint, an opposing team, I'd rather see Maxey. I'd rather see Melton out there than Maxey.
I mean, I get it. See, all right, this is my art now. I gave y'all my argument for Maxey being the starter and Melton off the bench. But my argument for Maxey off the bench is I think Maxey off the bench frees him up to dominate in the game. Because I think when Maxey comes in off of the bench, he's going against the other team's bench, and you don't have to. He don't have to wait for Harden or like he'll be the main feature. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got him off the bench and Melton running the point or whatever, for the most part, they're looking to get Maxey going and let Maxey shine. So, but Tim makes a solid point about the defensive part. See, that defensive part might not bother me as much if you fix that power forward position or small forward. Whatever PJ is playing, you got to fix that position.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, you right, but how tall is Melton? Melton's 6'3".
But he defends a better defender. You can't deny that.
He is. He's a little better defender than Maxey. He's taller, got a little bit of height, maybe an inch or so taller than Maxey. So I mean, my thing is, somebody said the reason why we balling better without Maxey. I actually think Melton is playing better. Like I don't think it's necessarily that him being he's playing better because he's starting. I think he's just playing better. He kind of got into the team. He acclimated with the squad, so he playing better basketball. So I still think he could take what he's doing as a starter and do that.
But Melton was playing solid all season, though. Remember, we were saying he was the one bringing in.
I agree.
But this is what Melton does, though. Think about him in Memphis. He was sitting there, and it was when he got his time to shine. Then he did you know what I'm saying? He did what he'd been doing.
Yeah, I mean, but I think he has confidence in his role in here as the team now. Sometimes it take a little bit of extra minutes to gain confidence.
I think he been had it, though.
Gain confidence in you, for you to gain confidence in your new system that you playing in and all that kind of stuff like that. I think he's comfortable with it now. I still think he could do the same thing coming off the bench. I mean, I think they both could. I'm not mad either way. I think they both could. I like the young bull Maxey. I like Melton, what he's doing. I think it'll work either way. I think you're going to get their minutes regardless, as long as you stagger it right. That's how I feel. Which McCall, Jermaine Carr said he still like PJ. He said he still think PJ has some value. What's
the value
on PJ?
What's the value that you see in PJ though? Now mind you, I like the signing because I thought he brought a toughness to him and scrappy. But I'm looking at even now with him playing defense, he's not effective at all. Like they're going down there on he's not out. He's not going to outquick anybody because he's old. So usually he used to have that foot speed, that foot quickness against the bigger players, but he don't even have that no more. And he's not out muscling anybody. Like I really don't see him doing anything on the court, honestly, offense or defense. At least be able to hit the spot up threes or something. All right, when Niang came in the game, all game when PJ was in there, whenever Embiid had to go to try to step because the Knicks were penetrating him, Embiid jumping over to defend that, they were getting rebounds off the back side every time.
They had a 19-3
exactly
advantage.
And I'm looking at their power forward. I'm looking at their power forward coming down there to get a rebound, and PJ still standing outside the 3 line like this. Meanwhile, when Niang came in the game, I see Niang down there banging around, like bumping people, trying to at least box somebody out. Or hit the ball out so we can get a chance at it. So I'm just saying, PJ needs to do those type things to be effective to me, and I don't know if he can at his height and speed at this point in his career.
Tim,
I mean, I agree. I was a fan of the signing initially because we got chumped so bad in the playoffs against Miami. We looked horrible. I mean, we just didn't look like we could compete with them just because they took our heart. It was Jimmy Butler. It was PJ, and I forget. And I think it was their center board. They just dominated us. So when we had an opportunity to take something away from the Heat and bring him here, I was all for it. But since he's been here, he hasn't proven. He's done the little things, and we have won 8 in a row with him in the starting lineup. So he's doing something, but it's not enough to me.
I think.
Real quick, Maine. I want to address Maine to my half of Toby threes is open.
Hold on. Let me
you going to talk on that? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about PJ.
All right, go ahead.
My thing with PJ, I think Doc is doing the perfect thing with PJ. You paid PJ all this money, so now you have to play him. I do think he a hard worker. He trying, but you got to play him. But Doc ain't giving him starter minutes. Doc giving PJ bench minutes. He's starting, but he only
now.
Yes, I'm saying he's starting to decrease it. Even I told you before. I mean, he had a couple games. He had some extended minutes because of injuries. But for the most part, when we look how you got a full lineup in there, PJ ain't getting them starting minutes. He got 23 minutes a day, and he got just as many minutes as Niang. Niang got 22. So I think Doc he understands where PJ at right now, but you have to play PJ a little bit. And I do think PJ kind of gives you he does give you a certain amount of emotional hypeness, a little bit of emotional leader, a little bit, and going there and banging a little thug role. I think that's a little bit of his role now, like a whack Draymond Green, an extra whack.
I think Trez does that more than PJ. I think Trez.
But Trez don't play enough to really give you that. You know what I'm saying? Trez only play.
Maybe Trez should play more than PJ. Because listen, man, you talking about PJ? You know why PJ could set these screens? Because nobody's guarding him. So he's just running around, just throwing his body on somebody to free somebody up because his man's off double teaming Biid all the time. Like that screen stuff is a little bit overrated to me.
John said he could take PJ plays and give him all. Yeah, John can. John actually go hard. I can give him credit out there.
He do.
He be going. He know how to throw his weight around too. He know how to throw his weight around. But I mean, look,
they about the same age. John got him by like 10 years.
But PJ he's getting paid too much to bench him. To completely bench him, he's getting paid too much. You can't do that right now.
I'm not saying bench him, but I'm just saying I would pull him a little quick. So when we pulled him,
you only did 23 minutes.
Well, guess what? Like Tim said, as soon as you set him on the bench and you put Niang and them in there, all of a sudden we making a run.
We went on a huge run.
We went like 18-4. We went on an 18-4 run.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Listen, I'm not saying y'all wrong. I'm saying I like what Doc is doing. PJ's pretty much playing a half of basketball. That's what he's doing. He playing either the first half. He get all. If you notice, PJ get the majority of his minutes the first half. Then you see PJ minutes disappear in the third and fourth quarter. And Niang was in there down the stretch doing his thing. Niang came through today, and Tim was hating on Niang too. He did shoot 2 bad threes that he bricked bad.
It was 4 bad in a row, and I was like, okay, something wrong.
But he came through. He came through in the clutch. He hit 2 big ones in a row too.
He did.
What you're not going to do is tell me about what you have to do for Tucker because he's getting so much money. Especially not if you're one of the people that was ripping Toby for getting paid the max contract and talking about how garbage Toby. Talk about how garbage PJ is.
No,
I don't care what he getting paid. That they got to play him because of what he getting paid.
I never said you did. But my thing is, I never said you shouldn't play Toby. I would just irritate at his production. But Toby's whack production has softened me to PJ Tucker. We had to deal with Toby playing whack until he came around, and now we got to do the same thing with PJ until he come around. He has softened me up. But let's talk about the Harden thing. So I know Tim was all being all extra on our text board when they heard that Harden, when Woj released that Harden may want to go back to Houston. Tim was in a complete frenzy first thing in the morning. I don't even think he did his daily text yet. Yeah, he was all excited talking about he about to get
bomb. Like,
you got to be able to read through the Woj bombs.
Go ahead, Tim. What you feeling?
No, they just said, but it came down as hard. Could be considering returning to Houston. And Houston has a nice little team right now, which probably could use a veteran presence at point. So I'm not sure. Like, he loves Houston. Somebody posted the strippers all got excited when they found out he might be coming back to Houston. But I do like him. I don't want him to leave because I feel, first of all, we gave up Ben, and because we gave up Ben. But if we lose him outright, then I mean we got nothing for Ben except for Randle, James Harden. But going back to Harden, remember news came out. I posted on the board. News came out 2 years ago that he wanted out of Houston, and they said that he wanted to go to the Nets. Guess what? It happened. Remember he was moping around, and news came out. Oh, he's in Brooklyn moping and everything. And guess what? He got out of. He told everybody he didn't want to get out of Brooklyn. But guess what?
Let me ask you something. Where in that article did it says Harden wants out of Philadelphia?
They never had him on record saying
No. Yes, they did. You just said the word came out that he wanted out of Houston. The word came out that he wanted out of Brooklyn. Where did it say that he wants out of Philly? Harden is on a 1-year deal, which he's going to try to, which is with a player option for next year. Harden wants to get a longer term contract. So what he's telling you is, if he's going on to the free agent market, if they're not going to give him the money he wants, he will be open to going back to Houston. He would like to go back to Houston. He's not telling you I don't want to be in Philly. He's saying he wants Philly to pay him because he took a pay, which he should, because he took a pay cut to come here. And if he's going to play the way that he's playing now, he deserves to get paid.
Timothy,
don't be surprised. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised.
I kind of agree with Wayne. I think
no, Sims. I never said that he wouldn't get traded. Oh, go ahead, Ethan.
I think it's a leverage game. I think he's playing the money game. He just throwing little fillers out there to let you know I'm willing to bounce if y'all don't give me the bread that you promised me. Because I'm sure when Murray worked out that little backdoor deal with Harden coming here and you take a little less so we could pay a little
take care of you on the back end.
Exactly, and all that. He's just ensuring that this man holds on to his word of paying him his money or I'm going to be out. That's all he's saying. And the thing about it is, I mean, can he get the money that he wants from Houston? I guess Houston has the cap space.
They was about to give him $200 million. They wrote a blank check to him before.
Okay.
So they gonna do it.
Yeah, but they're a few years older now, and they got young talent over there. Maybe they might feel as though they don't.
But he's a draw. He's a draw. He's beloved in Houston.
Listen, I agree with Wayne. I don't think he's trying to go back unless he has to for that bread. He realizes his best opportunity to win a championship. And I think honestly, I think the Sixers is evaluating his value. I mean, Harden right now doing his thing, but they are kind of evaluating his value coming to playoffs to see if he is going to be worth paying for another couple years, that type of money to see what we're going to do with this roster. If we are going to be able to make some legitimate championship runs, not just playoff runs. We at the point with Joel Embiid, we need to make some legitimate championship runs. And they trying to evaluate too if he were paying all that bread. So I think it's both teams trying to, both sides rather trying to look at it to see what they're going to do with that money and whether they're going to be worth or whether he's going to be worthy to pay it. And then he looking like if they not going to pay it, I'm gonna be out and go get it from somewhere else.
Because the ball's in his court.
Harden's making a strong campaign to get that bread because he's doing his thing right now. But ultimately, the playoffs is going to decide, I think, really what direction we end up going with him and he goes with us.
This feels like Jimmy Butler vibes where he was like, okay, I'm gonna stay with this team, and then I'm gonna force my way, and y'all gonna do a sign and trade. We're gonna get some bumbles from Houston.
See, you make these general statements without you do these. First of all, Jimmy was the whole thing about Brett Brown.
Yeah,
so we're not going to act like we don't know that. But that being said, do you think it's you don't think that it's a coincidence that this story breaks now and Harden comes out today and balls out? You think that's a coincidence?
Oh no, this is what happens with Harden. This is Harden. This is what Harden do.
But you keep saying that.
So what you said?
Like you said in the previous two places, Harden wanted out. Harden wanted out of Brooklyn and he wanted out of Houston. Where did he say he went out of Philly?
Hold up, but Tim, what are you saying his angle is? Like what you saying his end game? He just want to go back to Houston, or are you agreeing that his angle is what me and Wayne is saying?
I think he might want to go back to Houston. I think he wants to go back to Houston.
For what reason?
But guess what? If he want to go back to Houston, it's no reason for him. It's no reason for him to say that because he has a player option. He can just leave at the end of the season and say, "Oh, I'm going back to play at Houston."
All right. Here's what I believe. The Sixers have to be able to make a serious run for him to think about coming back. If he feels that his window of winning a championship here is not realistic, he'd rather be somewhere where he's beloved, and that's Houston.
And you don't think he'll be beloved here if he plays like this?
No, what I'm saying is if we get bumped in the second round of playoffs, I did this last year. I might as well go back home. I'm going to get the same money. The money is there. He's going to get the money here or he's going to get in Houston. Why not be in a place that he loves? And if he feels he can't win.
Because he wants to win a championship. He told you he.
No. I see what Tim's saying when you arguing against your own, not your own.
No.
You argue against a point Tim is. I do agree with what Tim is saying, though.
Where does he have a better chance to win a championship?
No. He's not saying that. He's saying if he does get bounced and he feels that, listen, we not going to win no championship here like that. I just don't think we can win. I don't think we going. Yeah, is your chance slightly better in Philly? Yes, but I don't think if he in his mind thinks I'm not going to win here, then I'll go back to Houston where I'm beloved. I could just play. People, everybody love me. The community love me. The organization loves me, and I'm still getting paid. I can see that a little bit, and that's why I said this run through the playoff. But at the same time, I think the Sixers organization are thinking the same thing. If we get bounced in the second round, and one of the reasons is Harden didn't play well, then they're gonna think, well, why we gonna pay him all this money and we can't win with him anyway? We might not think we could win with Harden, so let's go try to get somebody else. Let's go try to get a high draft pick. Let's go try to get. You know what I'm saying? Another player who we think can fit the situation.
But where would they get a high draft pick? Where would they get a high draft pick with? So
I'm just saying. I'm saying maybe on a sign and trade. I don't know. Maybe we could work out a
sign and trade who?
I don't know.
That's what from Houston.
I mean, it's always something you could
like we did with Jimmy.
Morey's supposed to be the guru, boy. We didn't think Harden was going to land in our lap last year in the middle.
You spend too much time on Twitter listening to that cat crap.
Reason.
It's not legit. It's not. He took a pay cut from the Sixers last year because he wants to win a championship. He said over and over again he wants to win a championship. It makes no sense to go to Houston. It makes zero sense.
He's not going to stay here.
Then he's not going. He's only using Houston. He's only saying all that stuff right there because he wants the Sixers to know he wants to get paid.
I don't think so.
It's politics.
No, it's not. If it's politics, he would have bounced last time.
It is politics. That's why he took the less money, like Ephraim saying. He took
the
less money
to build a team. He was like, I took less money so you could go get PJ, so you can get in your house, bring in these players so we can have a legit team.
So if you're saying he can get this kind of money anywhere, so he's going to say, oh, I got sentimentality in Houston. He didn't have that sentimentality in Houston when he wanted to get out a couple years ago. So now all of a sudden he has this sentimentality with Houston that he willing to go and ride his last couple of years in Houston?
If he can't
get out of here.
If he can't win, if he feels, it's all about how the player feels. If he feels, listen, I seen him ball out, and then when he got to Brooklyn, he was like, listen, I can't win here, and he shut it completely down. He was playing with KD, Kyrie, and he was like, you know what? I give up. I quit. And he forced his way out to go to a team that had a chance to win. So what makes you think? What makes you think he's going to say, "I'm going to go back and rebuild with Houston"? That's why he left Houston. What makes you think he's going to stay with this team when he didn't stay with the team before?
He may not stay with here, but he's not going to go back to. He's not going to go back to Houston if somebody else is offering him big money.
I will say this: Houston got some young.
Is as good as a drunk. That's not that good. He left OKC. A championship quality team with premier stars. He left. He went to Houston. He left. He went to Brooklyn. He left. He went to Sixers. You say, oh, he'll never leave us.
Where did I say that? Where did I say that? But you try to use it. Okay, go ahead.
Let me get in. Houston does have some young talent, though, that with the right players, they can be a decent team in the West, a playoff team. I don't know about a contender. I mean, you could always, honestly, I think you can always make enough moves to possibly be a contender if you make the right move. They got that young boy, Jalen Green, is an outright baller. He's gonna be a star in this league.
And you don't think you're watching him?
Yeah, no. See how you gonna feed him the Mr. Wing? The way you said it, you gonna feed him the Mr. Wing rhetoric when he's talking about how hard you like young rappers and all that other stuff like that. But I will say this: I'm kind of agree. Like I said, I'm agreeing with both of y'all. I am, but Tim has a point, Wayne has a point, but I think the ultimate point is, and this was Sexy Scenario said, he said it comes down to the Sixers with the Sixers doing the playoffs. That's what it really comes down to on both sides. I do think Tim has a slight point where Harden, if he feels that it's nothing we can realistically do to get over this hump in the East to compete with Boston and Milwaukee, then he might be like, yo, if I'm going to lose, I might as well lose in Houston where I'm beloved. That may be a feeling. Now, I do think if Harden's on his game, Maxey come back, Melton playing like he playing, Toby playing like he playing, Niang playing like he playing, Shake playing like he playing, I think we can contend with any team in the East. And I do think we at least go into the Eastern Conference Finals. So
Harden's already shown that it's not just about the money. He's already shown you it's not just about the money. Houston offered him the money the first time around. He didn't want to be. He wants to win. So, I'm not saying he don't have some sentimentality toward Houston, but you got to think about it. He can't just come out and say, "Oh, well, I'll go to Golden State if the Sixers won." I can't. No, he can say Houston. He can say Houston because they asked him about Houston because he's been at Houston.
Where else would he go that somebody could give him that type of money and him still be a contender?
No, he's going to try to find out. You don't think he's going to try to see?
I think that's a very limited pool. That's a very small pool.
I guarantee, in my opinion, if the Sixers are offering him the same money that Houston's offering him, he's going to stay here with a chance to win.
Now I agree with that. Now I do. I kind of agree with that too. But Mark said Tim. He said Tim got his camera on now. He talking all crazy because the camera on now. I do agree with that. He's talking a little bit more crazy because the spotlight is on. Mr. Wink said once again, I say this forever and ever that we dropped the ball not getting Halliburton. What do y'all think about that?
No, I mean I like how, but guess what? You saying drop the ball on Halliburton? Okay, so suppose Harden do leave. Halliburton's a free agent at the next year. Who's to say they can't go out and get him then?
Then B might be trying to be out. He like, listen, I need to win. B might be getting to the point where y'all haven't put in the right.
Actually, I think that's more of an important question. Is Joel B going? So Joel B say, "Yo, me and Harden gonna go to Houston and try to win this thing in Houston with Jalen Green."
So Houston's going to have the money to pay B's contract and give Harden this big contract.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe B might be acting. I don't like him putting that out there that he thinks the fans want him traded. I think he's trying to set up
last week.
Yeah, he's trying to set up a small little narrative that if he leaves, he's gonna be like, "Well, y'all ain't really want me here anyway."
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
I don't even think that's about him. I think that's about him. The "what was me" type of like they hurt my feelings. They supposed to be my fans.
Yeah,
and they don't really want me. Like he got like 3 people like Tim and Ethan talking reckless, and now be moping around. Like you got the whole. You got fans that went up to New York out here cheering for you. You doing it? Come on, he doing all this in New York for the Sixers fan. Man, I ain't buying into that crap. He was in his feelings one day.
What you boys do when they know they start moping like that? They start trying to find excuses to be out when they start doing
one day. It was one day he had a moment of weakness. Stop.
Okay, I hope
it's like when Tim was on his diet and then he saw a box of donuts and it was like it was all out the window.
Listen, I hope it is. I hope it is that. But I mean, what's Hey, Mr. Wayne. I mean, not Mr. Wayne. Who was it? Who was I arguing with? Somebody about Jalen Green. A couple comments just went up. But Jamar. Jalen Green he nice. He better than okay. Jalen Green nice, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He and I think he gonna be one of them next up boys who, I in my opinion, kind of like how you seen Ja take that jump his 3rd year in the league. Which how many years Jalen been playing so far? This is his. This is his 2nd. So next year will be his 3rd year. Ja kind of made that jump his 3rd year. I think you can see Jalen Green making that jump in his 3rd year too. He got game. Young boy, nice.
No, Halliburton is solid. I'm not going to say I've always liked Halliburton coming out. I didn't know why Sacramento drafted him when he had Fox over there, but you know what I'm saying? I always thought Halliburton was solid. And I mean, he's putting up numbers. He playing solid. He's putting up similar numbers to Harden this year. So I'm not going to slander him and say the Sixers would have been down without him. But I think that it's something, too, at a certain point, you need veteran leadership. And I think the Sixers got in Harden. When you brought Harden in here, you see how guys like Maxey lit up. And like some of these other guys, you got to think about even like guys like Niang or something like that that been around the league for a little bit. Harden has been a superstar in this league. Harden has been a generational player in this league. So when you see that adds to that confidence for the team.
I kind of agree with. I kind of wanted Cam Reddish when he was with Houston, when he was Atlanta. I thought that was because he's sitting there, he ain't doing nothing. They're not even playing him. He's like,
yes, interesting. Yeah, how they handling Cam Reddish. I thought he was definitely going to be a little bit more part of the Knicks squad. I'm kind of. Yeah. That kind of shocked. Is he hurt or something? Like it
must be something with him. He's not working out anywhere. They don't it's something about him. It's something about him. Usually, when you see a player that you feel like is talented like that, and it's for some reason he's not getting a chance on these teams, there's something to it, in my opinion.
Larry Brown used to hate on Jalen Rose back in the day, and he had to get away from Jalen Rose. Jalen Rose had to get away from him to flourish. Sometimes just coaches just don't.
Well, Cam Reddish got away from Nate McMillan, and then he went over to Thibodeau, and the same thing is happening. That's why I'm saying when you go to multiple teams. New York wanted him. New York went out and got him. So now you're telling me they went out and got him and they not bring him here?
Anyway, I would take a chance. Let me see.
No, I mean that's true.
I'll take a chance too.
I mean, Oliver, this is what I said about John Morant. Remember when I came on here and our polo chat and our group chat and I said I think John Morant gonna be next up. Ethan was hating. I think Wayne was agreeing, and I don't know. I don't think Tim really had an opinion. But I watched Ja a little bit in college, and I said, "Yo, I think all of us did because he always put up some crazy highlights."
Oh, remember, I was the one arguing for Ja to be Rookie of the Year when y'all was talking about.
I remember that. But my point is, Ja's 2nd year, he was putting up very similar numbers to the numbers that Jalen Green's putting up, and I said, "Watch him have a breakout year." His 3rd year, I think he's going to break out. Sure enough, he had a breakout year. He was averaging 40% from the field, a little over 40. And 30% from 3. His next year, he shot up, I think, like 10 points a game higher than he was the previous year, and he had a breakout year. And now everybody is Ja that bull. Now he that bull. I'm sure Jamar don't argue that, but 3 years into Ja's 2nd year, a lot of people was arguing against him really being that bull or not. But I think Jalen Green gonna do the same thing. I like Jalen Green. I'm just arguing that point about Jalen Green. But Ja was never putting up those numbers. Even yes, he what? What you mean putting up what numbers? Look at Ja's second year. Let's analyze the numbers. Ja's second year, he's averaging 19 points a game. This is Green's second year. Let's keep that in mind. He was averaging 19 points a game. He was shooting. This is why I got fact check y'all all the time. He was shooting 30% from three and 44% from field goals. So that's very similar numbers to what Jalen Green's putting up now. So Jamar, check your stats, check your facts, get your stats together. But I think he's gonna have a breakout year.
But what is he the playmaker that Ja was?
Yes.
Jalen Green is more of a 2-guard though, ain't he?
Yeah, I mean, you mean if regarding like assists, he's not a point guard, but I definitely think he.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying that still is a little bit different. Ja was a playmaker and the leader of that team, putting up those kind of numbers. Whereas opposed if you talking about Green being a 2-guard and putting that, I don't think it carries as much weight.
Wrong. I am mad about yesterday.
Yeah. Tim was Tim don't know how he felt yesterday because he kind of wanted Minshew to lose a little bit because if Minshew won, I think he was scared of the Minshew mania. He was scared of everybody like Minshew that bull because you see how he was hating. We barely lost. Minshew played a great game and he was still.
He didn't play a great game. You got to stop with the cat. Minshew did not play a great game.
Minshew played a great game. Thank you, Herb. He is just as explosive as Moran. I agree. The bull Jalen, I don't know what Jamar talking about. Jalen got game, and he's having a very similar season to the season that Ja had in year 2. But Minshew had a great game, and Tim was hating. So, Mark, you're kind of right. Tim was a little salty happy that we lost that game with Minshew at the helm.
All right, y'all. We see y'all Wednesday. We play the Washington Wizards.
You probably didn't even like Ja that much in his second year, Jamar. Chill. Now suddenly he break out and everybody Ja fan. Now everybody Morant the next up when nobody was saying that his first and second year in the league. Now he break out his third and fourth year and everybody, Ja. Stop. But it's the same thing gonna happen with Jalen Green. Jamar gonna be talking about how Jalen Green that bull in 2 to 3 years. We'll see.
Can y'all like the video before we get out of here? Can y'all all go here and push the like button? It's not hard.
Hey, we only got one thumb up on it.
Yeah, push the like.
Yeah, I like I had to go like my own video because y'all ain't giving no love.
I mean, give us something. Thumb up, middle finger, something. Give us some kind of acknowledgement.
They'll take a middle finger. But listen, we out. Thanks for watching.
Deuces.